Hey guys, this is Mitch. How you doing? How you doing, pal? I called a coworker pal today. He seemed kind of pleased about it, so I'm gonna shelve that one for now, and I'm gonna use like chum or something next time. I think I'll just tickle him. So so we're back for more Blood Force. This is, of course, page 9 of issue 3, and I'm recording this Friday night, and not like Friday night 2 weeks ago. This is November. What is it, 3rd? So yeah, I kind of put this off until the last second because I just finished the page last night. But yeah, so this is we're continuing the epic confrontation between Max Streamus and the UN. Kind of. Hey, look, it's Ultra Mega, and he's gone. I believe I was showing one of my Inktober pieces off there. And you can still check out all of my Inktober pieces over on my Instagram. There's a fucking lot of them. There was like 31, oddly enough. And while you're there, you can also DM me for commissions if you like. And in the meantime, you can go over to my Patreon and subscribe if you like to see all the Blood Force stuff. The Inktober stuff is also up there as well. So, yeah, this is a page where, I don't know, negotiations keep going on. I had to draw some weird stuff on this page. This is the page where Hawkstab is told, okay, you can stick around with your weird sword arms, but, go sit in the corner over there, and if you make any sudden moves, then, well, we're activating the UN Secretariats. Because, see, they're in the Secretariat building. And I thought that was kind of hilarious. It doesn't take much sometimes. Yes, okay, this has to be in my comic. This is why I could never write a serious comic. Because this kind of stupid shit would come up all the time, and I wouldn't be able to use it. Or if I did, it'd be, what the fuck is this UN Secretariat? Why is that in your comic book? I guess people might ask that anyway. The reason is because I chuckled when I thought of the term. So, naturally, I had to share that. Oh, didn't like how that worked. Yeah, no, I agree. And they rise up from behind him, like it's Metroplex. Yeah, this page is kind of my ode to Transformers the movie, the 1986 animated one. There's an awful lot of that movie devoted to, like, cannons coming out of structures, At least compared to, like, most other movies, I would say. There's a disproportionate amount of cannons emerging. Oh, there's my face. Good stuff. Yeah, this is not stuff that I usually draw. Like, there's people who like to do the weird text stuff. I'm not one of them. Which I think I've said probably several times before. But, like, even stuff like this, it didn't turn out to be too bad. Like, it turned out to be kind of fun. And I don't think it ended up looking too bad either, really. But it's not something that, I sit around drawing, like, mechs. Oh, that's getting pretty bright. Mechs with, like, grasshopper legs or something out of Armored Core. You gonna go fix that or what, man? There we go. Much better. And this does end up taking a little while. Normally, at least for this particular sequence, I've been able to get a page done in like 4 hours, which has been pretty great. And by the end of this, by the time I'm done the page, I've still got a little bit of juice left. So I'm able to start up on something else, which was important during Inktober. So I get started on the next thing. There was a few of these where, like, the end of it is like, okay, what's the next thing I got to do? Because I'm like 2 drawings behind by my internal schedule. And yeah, of course, these turrets are like laser cannon kind of things. This wasn't a specific design. Like I was looking at stuff on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Google. Because I mean, I can't come up with this stuff on my own, really. So you know, I don't know, cannon, laser turret, all that kind of stuff. And I'm pretty sure I amalgamated several designs for this kind of thing. And like for me, these ended up looking all right. I think by the time I finished the page, like I finished the one on the left here during the stream. Oh, that was what I was gonna say. This stream ended up taking like 6 hours, and I didn't finish the goddamn page. Yeah, the turret on the right here. That was one of the ones I finished last night. Because yeah, I just did not want to draw any more tech stuff that day. I think guys like this, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, it doesn't take any kind of time, but you know, it just a dude and trying to come up with a somewhat fun pose, kind of didn't really get there for this guy, I guess, but you know, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, a lot of measuring in this. And a lot of weird panel designs. Which makes me wonder what I was reading before this, because I have a tendency to hang on to whatever I've seen in the revisit the week prior. And not quite enough using a ruler here, maybe, but, well, no, I'm going to make up for that in a minute. Yeah, trying to go a little hard on, like, you know, just a little bit of detail rendering, that kind of thing. And then by the time I finish it up, it's like, nope, we're done. Get me off this page. I need to do the goddamn commentary. I don't mind how all this stuff turned out. With this little bit of detail on the turrets themselves, to make them look a little, I don't know, beat up and grimy maybe. It's like they've had to use these Sekra turrets once or twice. Oh, that was how I did. When I was doing this last night, it didn't end up quite this exact with how the laser cannon itself ended up. Maybe the first time through, and the second time I was like, close enough. Maybe in future, I'll pay a bit more attention. But knowing me, maybe not. I don't know. The work ethic has been evolving a little bit over the last year and a half. I'll say that. But I mean, the comic itself has kind of demanded it, because at first this was purely, well, I mean, the comic itself was kind of a joke, right? It wasn't intended to be finished. It was like, okay, you know, I came up with some really dumb characters. Now, how about, like, you know, how about I do some character designs? Sure. How about I come up with a cover for a presumed first issue? It's like, yeah, that sounds like fun. And then, you know, I was kind of grooving, so I came up with a script. And I think at that point, it's like, okay, sure. But even then, it's not, it wasn't meant to be anything serious. It was a parody, but it was like a joke of a parody. And now it's kind of evolved more to the point where I don't even know how much room there is for parody in this. I mean, some, definitely. But it's going to be a lot more subtle than it was in issue 1, I think. To the point where it's more satire. And really, the focus is more on having superheroes do goofy shit and say goofy shit. But still try to draw them like they're badass. I really got to get my photocopier set up for stuff like this. I don't know if there's any bits I need to photocopy on Sunday's page, but yeah, stuff like this, where I'm doing repeat shots over and over. You know, just like save myself some time. Why not? But that means like setting aside probably an hour or so of figuring out my new photocopier. It's like, who has that hour? Meanwhile, you know, I got home like 2.5 hours ago and was fucking around on YouTube because I need my wind down time, right? That's part of the schedule too. Yeah, I don't mind this this page setup. Like these panel layouts. It's not my usual thing, but I kind of like how it turned out. The only thing I'd say is that this looks like it should have. Naturally, you render the boobs first, right? It looks like it should have a bunch of dialogue around the sides, and this actually isn't a very dialogue-heavy page. It's more that moment-to-moment kind of transition, which is probably something I should, I don't know, maybe not exactly weed out of my repertoire, but it's probably something I rely on too much. I'm not sure where I get that from. Probably a little bit from Cerebus, but like just more from, I don't know. I always get the feeling like I want to try to translate a movie scene into comics. And acting depends very much on subtle movements or subtle actions. So these scenes I dream up, that's a pretty good face from that angle, actually. I think I said that at the time, too. But yeah, no, it turned out all right. These scenes that I come up with that either strike me as funny or cool or whatever, yeah, they tend to take a second or two to play out. Like this bit here where, you know, Hawkstab gives her the thumbs up, like, you know, you got this. It's like, because she needs the reinforcement. Sure. Yeah, you're so helpful. Thank you. And then turns around and walks away. And it's like, was that really necessary? No, I don't think it was. I probably could have fit another panel from the next page in here if I hadn't been obsessed with just, you know, like this is the whole bottom of the page here I decided to do this with. And then stuff like this is no fun to draw. It's like you get all hung up about your moment-to-moment transitions, and then it's like, but these moment-to-moment transitions are so boring. It's like, well then, I mean, like, I'm the one writing it. Maybe I should, like, weed them out, huh? No. It's a work in progress. Which I think is fine. It's a first work. You know. Trying to think when the next action scene is. So this is page 9. I'm done. This coming Sunday, I'm drawing page 12. Oof. If I'm thinking about the script, I'm thinking probably the next action sequence. Page 17. Page 18. Around there. Got a ways to go. It's going to be fucking December. I don't know if I like this or not. Because this is the UN Visitors something. Visitors Center, I think. And I've seen the interior of the UN Visitors Center. Oh, yeah, I corrected that. That's right. And it doesn't really look like this. The central kind of table desk thing, yeah, sure. But they don't really have theater seats in the UN, I don't think. They're not that kind of visitor friendly. But they just kind of needed to be there for this sequence. And there's nobody else in this room, eh? There's Hawkstab and Maxtremus and like 3 delegates. And as we'll see on the next page, a couple of superpowered bodyguards for a Clerg Roboclone. So yeah, like tune in next week for that if you haven't seen it already. And a bailiff. And that's everyone that needs to be present for the negotiation of the settlement of millions of aliens on Earth. I'm thinking maybe next time I'll switch that up a little bit. So there's maybe like a witness or two. Maybe some like dissenting opinions. I don't know. Well, we got one dissenting opinion anyway in this, but he could potentially be compromised. But we haven't really introduced him yet. I do like this thumbs up. I don't think it's condescending at all. I don't know if Hawkstab really has that in him. But just the presumption that, it's like, yes, she needed this moral support, and I'm the man to give it to her. Did I remember to put the blades in? I always forget to put the blades in. Particularly by the time I get to the pouches. I don't know. Oh, I remembered. On this one, anyway. I'm sure there's at least one Hawkstab shot on here where I forgot about the blades. It always happens. It's like I created a character whose whole gimmick is that it's funny that he can't withdraw his blades. And he has to try and, he has to navigate. And not only, has to try and navigate with these cumbersome things. Doesn't notice that it's weird. And that everyone is like scrambling to get out of his way. This particular panel, I think, ends up not working too well. The Hawkstab bit is fine. It's the bailiff that's the problem. Not only could I not come up with a funny enough reaction pose for my tastes anyway, because it's a small panel, it's tough to get in the detail I even wanted. And it just kind of ends up looking tossed off, and I'm not too happy with how it turned out. But, it's a one panel gag that, again, just kind of move on. There's always that point where I have to weigh, is it worth spending more time on this? And sometimes the answer is yes, and I say fuck it anyway. Because, I'm imaged to the core like that. I will say for a tiny panel, or a tiny drawing anyway, this shot of Hawkstab ends up looking pretty good. I think this is not too long after the Faust Inktober drawing. No, those are Faust abdominal muscles, obliques and shit. Oh, remember them here too. Do I remember them in the salute? I probably should. Yes. Okay, good. Wow, okay, got through the whole page. Well, enjoy that. And of course got the angle wrong on these blades. But I'll be fixing that in a second. And then tried to, freehand that swipe. Didn't like how it looked. It's funny, everything auditorium-ish I have to do, I take from high school. From what I remember, from getting close to 30 years now. There's another shot that didn't turn out too bad, like this shot of Max Tremas here. Really, again, considering how small the shot is. Yeah, so like these two guys, they're fine. But yeah, this is the bit here where it's like, ugh. And yeah, having to work it so much, and then it's still not really turning out in a way I enjoy. It's a bit of a drag. So now we're down to the finishing touches here. Let's get this out of the way. And yes, I'm aware I didn't draw his head. I'm okay with it. It just kind of seems like a funny image thing to me. Yeah, see, like I'm not doing ruler here anymore. I'm just like, get it done. To not put the head in, but also it would conflict with the two panels that are above it here. So I don't know if I don't think I really wanted to do that anyway. Yeah, so like the one on the right here doesn't look quite as detailed as the one on the left, or as straight. It's a little bit more bendy, but I think it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, man. Take it easy. I'm not even sure about this thing in the background here. I don't think this will get shown um, for the entirety of this sequence, whatever they're sitting in front of there. There's supposed to be like a big painting or something there. And it's like, oh man, that's going to be tough to draw. And it's like, well, no, not if you don't do it. And again, freehanding that swipe, but it turned out a little better in this one. And I'm just going to like fake in some backgrounds. Which kind of, it works a little bit with this swipe, actually. And considering they're not, the background is nowhere near any kind of focus. And there will be dialogue covering this bit up. Oh, that pen is dying. And that should pretty much be the end of that page, I think. Yeah. All right, so that was page 9. A fine page, all things considered, I think. Better once the script shows up. This is mostly about a little bit of sight gags and a little bit of funny dialogue and some puns. But that's tough to get across in the drawings. So yeah, like I said, Sunday I believe I am putting together the last page for this sequence. So stop by that. That'll be, I guess, tomorrow by the time I put this up. Okay, yeah, these pages aren't as much of a drag as the exposition pages in issue 1 were, at least, because those sucked. I did not enjoy those at all. So we're getting to a point, at least, where I'm able to have a bit more fun with it. And it's not, I'm able to kind of push through it a little bit easier, so that's something. But man, I'd like to draw some action again. It's like if only the writer would come up with something that was a bit more fun to draw. I'm working on it. But yeah, so that'll do it for this one. Thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the next one's coming out. Go over and subscribe on my Patreon. That's where all these videos go before they get to YouTube, usually a week or so in advance. Also, all the Blood Force stuff ends up. So finished pages like this and the complete issues that have been completed. They're complete there. Both of them. And there's some Patreon exclusive content as well. Also, if you go over to my Instagram, I do drop some drawings there from time to time, and you can DM me for commissions. So, worth checking out. But yeah, that's going to do it. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.